If you are thinking about buying or selling a home in Phoenix right now, you need to watch this video because May just ended and the market data is in, and there are some things happening out there that could either save you money or cost you big if you don't know about them. I'm going to break down what's actually happening in Maricopa County in the real estate market for 2026 in plain English, no confusing jargon, no boring charts. You don't need a finance degree to understand them, just the real stuff that actually matters to you. Stick around to the end because I'm going to tell you exactly what this means for you if you're a buyer versus a seller and what your next move. Hey, I'm Suri Atkins. I'm a real estate consultant here in the Phoenix Valley. I specialize in helping people right size their lives, whether they're downsizing, upsizing, relocating, or just finally making that move you've been thinking about for the last 2 years. Every month, I pull the actual MLS data for Maricopa County. That's the whole Phoenix metro area, and I translate it for real humans, not robots, not investors who eat spreadsheets for breakfast, real people who just want to know, is this a good time to buy? Should I sell now? What the heck is going on out there? So grab your coffee, your lemonade, or your cocktail, depending on what time of day it is. Settle in and let's talk about May 2026. And yes, I promise this is going to be way more interesting than what it sounds. All right, let's start with the headline number. In May 2026, 4,937 homes sold in Maricopa County. That is almost 5,000 families who packed up boxes, hired movers, and started a brand new chapter. That is a lot of moving trucks. Now, the total sales volume for those homes, $3.5 billion. Yes, that's with a B. In 1 month, in one county. Arizona's not playing around. So, what was the magic number? The median sold price in May was 510,000. That's your middle of the road home. Half of everything sold for more than that, half sold for less. Now, here's the question I get all the time. Suri, is the market going up or is it going down? And the honest answer is it depends on which number you're looking at. So let me give you a few of them. The average sold price was 729,000. Now, why is that number much bigger than the median sold price? Because when you have a few multi-million dollar homes in the mix, it pulls that number up. So think of it as a group of friends where four of you make 60K a year, and one friend is a tech genius and they're making 2 million. The average income of the friend group looks great, but most of you are still buying groceries on a budget. The median is the most honest number for most of the people within the group. So the median sold price is 510. Okay, now let's talk about something that I think is one of the most telling stats in the whole report. And most people never really pay that much attention to it, and it's called days on market, or DOM. This tells you once a home is listed, how long it stays on the market before it's under contract. In May, the average days were 70. For context, if you remember back in 21 and 22, homes were going under contract in like 3 days. People were waiving inspections, they were writing love letters, they were offering 50K over asking price just to have a shot. It was crazy. 70 days is very different vibe. This means buyers have time to breathe. You can actually, I don't know, look at the house before making an offer. A revolutionary concept, I know. Now, there's also something called CDOM, cumulative days on market. That's 74 days. The difference between DOM and CDOM counts the total time a home has been listed, even if it was temporarily taken off of the market and relisted. So that extra 4 days tells us some homes are cycling back through, getting relisted, price drops, and so on. What does 70 plus days mean for you? If you are a buyer, negotiating power you don't have that you didn't have a few years ago. Use it. If you are a seller, this is not set it and forget it market. Pricing, presentation matter more than ever. Your home has to look good, be priced right, and be marketed well. No more just stick it on the MLS and watch the offers roll in. Okay, here's where it really gets interesting. There are two numbers in this data that I want you to understand because together they tell a very important story. The first is called SPLP. That stands for sales price to list price ratio. In May, this was 97%. Translation, basically what sellers listed for and what they actually got. Pretty close, but not perfect match. So if the home was listed at 500K, it probably sold for around 485K. That's about a 15K gap. Now, here's the second number, and this one is the one sellers need to really sit with. It's called SPOLP, sales price to original list price ratio. That was 93%. Do you see the difference? The list price ratio was 97%, but the original list price ratio was 93%. That gap tells us that a lot of sellers had to reduce their price before they got their home sold. They started too high. The house sat, they dropped the price, and then it sold. So if you listed at 600 originally, by the time it sold, you were probably closer to 563. That's almost 37K left on the table. Not because the market's terrible, but because the pricing was off from the start. That is why, and I cannot say this enough, pricing strategy is everything in this market. You don't want to be the house that goes stale on the market. Buyers can see how long your home has been sitting. They can see the price drops, and the longer it sits, the more they wonder what's wrong with it. Even when nothing is wrong with it, it's just overpriced. Price it right the first time. It is the single biggest thing you can control. Now, let's look at the supply side. How many new homes hit the market in May? 5,412 new listings came on. That is more than the 4,937 that sold. What does that mean? More homes are coming on than what's going out. Inventory is building up, which means buyers have more choices than they've had in a long time, and sellers have more competition right now. There are 16,109 active listings in Maricopa County with a median list price of $569,900. Those homes have been sitting on average of 82 days. Think of it this way. Imagine a grocery store where the shelves are pretty well stocked. You're a shopper, that's a buyer. You have options. You can compare, you can walk away from something that doesn't feel right and find something better down the aisle. That's the market right now. Buyers, you have options. Sellers, you have competition. The question isn't, can I sell my home? It's how do I make my home the one that gets chosen? All right, I need to talk about the section of the market I lovingly call the graveyard. 1,185 listings were canceled in May. Those homes that came on the market and then just disappeared, pulled off, never sold. And 610 listings expired, meaning they sat on the market for so long that the listing contract literally ran out. Let's look at those expired listings for a second because there's a lesson here. The average list price on expired listings were 544,945, but the average accumulative days on market were 139 days, over 4 months on the market with no sale. And the canceled listings, those had an average of 103 days before the seller gave up. Do you see the pattern? Those homes didn't fail because the market is broken. They failed because of the pricing, presentation, or marketing, usually pricing. Here's my hot take. If your home has been sitting for 100 plus days without selling, the market is telling you something. It's not personal, it's just data. And data doesn't lie. The good news, every single one of those canceled and expired sellers is a potential homeowner who still needs to move. They just haven't found the right strategy yet. Now, let's talk about what's in the pipeline, the homes that are under contract but haven't closed yet. 2,990 90 homes are currently pending with a median price of 500K. That's a healthy pipeline. That tells us that the market is still moving. People are buying and selling. Contracts are getting signed. There are also 615 homes that are temporarily off the market status. These are homes that got pulled off briefly. Maybe the seller needed to make repairs, deal with something personal, or rethink their strategy. They'll likely be back. And 1,546 homes came back on the market in May. These are homes that had a contract, fell through, and now came back on for grabs. Average accumulative days on market for those, 91 days. So they've been in the game for a while, and back on market homes can actually be great opportunity for buyers. They're sometimes priced more competitively because the seller has already been through the process and is more motivated to close. If you see a home that just came back on the market, don't automatically skip it. Ask why it fell out of contract. Sometimes it's an issue with inspection. Sometimes the buyer just got cold feet. Do your due diligence. It could be a gem. All right, what does all of this mean for you personally? Let's start with the buyers. Buyers, I want you to hear this. What is the most leverage you've had in years? Homes are sitting for 70 plus days. Sellers are accepting offers below list price. Inventory is building. You have choices. You have time. Does this mean you lowball everyone and be obnoxious? No, but it does mean you can ask for closing help, request for repairs after inspection, negotiate on price, and actually have those conversations without getting laughed out of the room. The one caveat, well priced, well presented homes in great locations are still moving. Don't sleep on a good house thinking you have all the time in the world. But for everything else, use your leverage. Now, let's talk sellers. Sellers, you can absolutely still sell your home and make money, but you have to be strategic. The data is clear. Homes that are overpriced will sit, price reduce, and eventually sell for less. Then, if you have been priced correctly from day one, that's not a theory. That's literally what the numbers are telling us. My advice, price it right, make sure it looks amazing in photos and in person, and make a strong marketing plan that gets people in the door for the right buyers. And that's how you win in this market. And if you've been thinking about selling but waiting for the perfect time, here's a truth bomb. There is no perfect time. There's the right strategy, the right price, and the right agent. That's what matters. Okay, so that was a lot of numbers, and you made it through this far. You are officially more informed about the Phoenix real estate market than most people out there. Seriously, give yourself a pat on the back. If you're asking yourself, maybe I should be doing something about my living situation, whether you're thinking about buying, selling, or just trying to figure out what your home is worth right now, I do a free, no pressure consultation, no sales pitch, no weird follow up calls, just real information so you can make a smart decision. You can reach me at 623-288-4979, or you can email me. All of my information is in the description below. And if you found this helpful, please feel free to like the video and subscribe so you can get the July market report when it drops. I do this every single month so you always know what's happening in your backyard. I'm Suri Atkins, your real estate consultant here in the Phoenix Valley. And remember, wherever you're headed next, let's make sure your next chapter is with confidence. See you in the next one.